Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube. It's your girl Anishimi, aka the ultimate daughter of Shimi slash the aspiring marine biologist. It has been a minute since I have been on this channel. It has been a minute. Guys, I don't know what happened. Procrastination after procrastination, and yeah, but the content is there, but the ability to edit and post is a problem. Nevertheless, on today's episode, we're gonna talk about sustainable development goals. This is an outreach that I've done with a specific African program that it works with the youth, trying to get the youth together to help the youth understand the importance of sustainable development goals. So on this episode, I'm gonna share my presentation or my delivery when I got to this outreach. I did it on campus with the students of the with UNAM students, hence by campus. But I emphasized more on the importance of the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations towards the fisheries students. I think you might hear sounds in the background. It's my worship music playing. It's still very early in the morning, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and this video is for you to learn a thing or two. I'm very passionate about ocean literacy. I'm very passionate about educating the next person on areas such as conservation, ocean related, mental health, and etc. So this video is for you to learn a thing or two, and let me know what you have learned, and also what other topics do you want me to cover around the area of conservation and mental health. With that said, enjoy the video. Love you, Darashimi. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. It's been that long, guys. It's been that long. Enjoy the video and enjoy your lovely day, lovely week.
If JB Morrow, go and get your bag.
To present after such a well-articulated lady is very hard and strong. Good afternoon, everyone. I stand on the protocol eloquently established by my colleague, and allow me to introduce myself. My name is Anishimi, an aspiring marine biologist and a conservation by heart. I'm part of the fourth cohort of the program was explained by my colleague, and today it's my honor to educate you and to guide you on the sustainable development goals, particularly 9 to 17, with reference to our course or to what we as fisheries students can put it into context as such. Imagine just a world where the ocean pulses with life, cities innovate without leaving anyone behind. The climate action is not just a word, but it is something that shapes our daily lives. The Sustainable Development Goals 9 to 17 is not just page numbers. These are called for action, blueprint, and as well as the establishment of our own future and the sustainability of understanding what we have to conserve what we have. As John has mentioned, we are doing it for our future generation, for our future kids. Colleagues, the time is ticking. We have less than 5 years, 3 months, 20 days, and approximately less than 10 hours for us to execute these sustainable development goals. As mentioned by my colleagues, these goals were established in 2015 with the aim of executing it by the Vision 2030. So the Sustainable Development Goals provide a focus in political will, financing the biggest challenges such as poverty, conservation, ocean conservation, climate changes, and also fighting for the dignity of everyone's security and as well as their livelihoods and etc. But the main or the central principle when it comes to the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations is that leave no one behind. This just ensures that the most fragile, the most vulnerable, or even the invisible are all protected and included when we speak of the SDGs of the United Nations. I'll focus into the SDG 9 and 17 as mentioned before with context to fisheries. So Sustainable Development 9 states industry, innovation, and infrastructure. What does this mean for us as fisheries students? This just tells us that it will allow us to promote the sustainability of infrastructure and resilient industries, having to invest in fishing ports eco-friendly aquaculture practices, and as well as go into the digital world of having fisheries machineries that will allow us to create jobs and also support coastal livelihoods. As we all know, we live in the coast, and the majority of the coastal people depend on the ocean for their livelihoods. That is a fact known by everyone. Furthermore, it will also help us to foster innovation and also sustainable or blue economy. And also industry will help us directly contribute to the healthier living of the mighty ocean, and as well as the long-term providing of food security. We look into the Sustainable Development Goal 10, which is reduce inequality within among nations. This one we're talking of ensuring that fishes such as small-scale farmers are not downlooked at. Coastal communities such as the marginalized are also taken into consideration when it comes to fair shareness of these resources, and also as well as for decision making. This is basically just addressing the discriminatory among these things. As we all know, the rich become richer and the poorer become poorer. So this specific SDG is just focusing to see that if the ocean is meant for Namibia, everyone in Namibia is supposed to benefit from the ocean resources. We move on to SDG 11. That is sustainable cities and communities. What does this mean for us as fishery students? This means reducing coastal urban pollution. We're talking of plastic pollution, waste pollution, and this also speaks to town planners to ensure that when they are planning towns, there is an area whereby waste is managed in a sustainable way, that it does not go back into the ocean, affect our marine, and also backfires in the future generation by depleting of our marine resources and etc. As we all know, July was the month of plastic prevention when it comes to the ocean currently. So people are advocating to ensure that we do not pollute our ocean, keeping them clean, ensuring that our marine resources live long so that it can also sustain us. As we all know, you take care of something, it stays longer, and when it stays longer, it also takes care of you. We look into Sustainable Development Goal 12 that speak of the responsible consumption and production. Here we're talking of promoting sustainable fishing practices, where we talk of let's invest more into aquaculture than into wild capturing fisheries. When we invest into aquaculture, we are ensuring that there is less pressure placed onto the water source, which is the ocean, and this is all the only ocean that we have, and the years are going, and as the years are going, the fish is depleting. Furthermore, we also talk of we should also reduce the food waste along the seafood supply chain. This is when we are talking of maybe in the fisheries industry. When the fish comes in, there are fish that is discarded. This is food waste that we are talking about. There are bycatches that people don't eat that is being thrown out. These are the waste that we are talking about. So if we keep on taking out these specific resources as bycatch and throwing it out, we are putting our resources to waste. So we should find areas and ways on how we can work around that specific problems. Furthermore, also we need to help to preserve our ocean health and all while we are supporting our own livelihoods. As I say, you take care of the ocean takes care of you. But the moment you don't take care of the ocean, it cannot take care of you. As Joanna said, garbage in, garbage out. You cannot expect the ocean to give you fish if you are overfishing by the ocean. We move on to the famous SDG, which is 13, that most people are focusing on because it speaks so much volume when it comes to our environment and our ecosystems. So this SDG states, take urgent action to combat climate change and its impact. As fisheries students and as people in the fisheries sector, we are affected by climate change. This climate change is affecting our ocean by the rising temperatures, ocean acidification, and extreme weathers that are threatening our marine ecosystems. We all know when there was a sulfur eruption, people had to move oysters to Ludwig. Why? Because these specific organisms are going to die and they are not going to become such food for humans. Hence, we need to take care of we need to ensure that we do not pressurize our climate in order for it to backfire on us when it comes to our health and etc. And as well as we need to invest into climate resilient fisheries by protecting our marine habitats and also ensuring that we are reducing emissions from the fishing fleets. When you talk of fishing fleets, you're talking of the vessels, the the gas that they are releasing and etc. It plays a major role into our ecosystem, and we need to protect organisms such as the mangroves and the coral reefs, because these things are very important to our ecosystem and they play a major role when it comes to our ecosystem. We move on to one that is directly to our it is directly within our fisheries studies, which is the Sustainable Development Goal 14 that states life below water. It's personally my favorite. So this specific SDG focuses on ensuring that we do not overfish our resources, and also reducing marine pollution. What do we mean by this statement? When we talk of conservation, we're thinking of making sure that we do not overuse, we do not overspend these specific resources. Our marine resources can be very limited at certain times, given what fisheries we are working with. But then the moment we can sit together as individuals, like-minded individuals, come up with policies that ensures that this is conserved, is the only way that it's going to give back to us. And this is why I always preach that as scientists, we need to find a way to communicate to non-scientists when it comes to problems as such. Especially with this SDG, it's mostly the operation side of fisheries. When people are catching fish, they do not understand. When we say, no, we need to conserve, or we need to, you do not need to catch such a large amount of fish, they do not understand, because what? Their focus is on the money, and our focus is on keeping the ocean safe. So we need to learn, we need to come up with an area whereby we close up that gap, or to help these people understand that, listen here, if you are going to overfish now, today, in 5 years' time, your company will not have fish to. We will not have anywhere to get fish from. So do you want to either run for the next 15 years, or do you just want to run for the first 5 years and you close down? So that is the mindset we need to start creating when we are creating awareness when it comes to the specific SDGs. And in general also, we just need to ensure that the safeguards of the food security and livelihoods, because this specific SDG does play a major role in our communities. Our parents are employed within the fisheries sector. People that grew up in the coast, they know the fisheries sector is what has improved their livelihood. People are coming from the north that are settled in the coast because this is where the jobs are, at the factories and etc. So let us ensure that we conserve what sustains us. Let's carry on. This is Sustainable Development Goal 15, life on land. It connects with ocean and fisheries by highlighting how healthy the land ecosystem it will support the marine life. What do I mean by that? The other day I was jogging. I came across a lot of plastic bottles by the beach. And it was windy, it was the week that it was windy. So what does this mean? It means that these bottles are coming from land into the marine space. So people say, no, it's far from the ocean. But factors such as the wind takes it to the ocean. And that's why we are saying, the moment our land is healthy, there's no pollution, there's nothing, it will ensure that our ocean is the same. So whatever we put, whatever waste, litter, whatever that's on land, it will end up in the ocean, and it will affect and harm our animals. So by us not littering, we are playing a major role in ensuring that our ocean is sustainable and healthy as well. Let's move on to the Sustainable Development Goal 16 that states peace, justice, and strong institutions. Here we're talking of policy and lawmaking. The importance of ocean governance. The fight against IUU, which is the illegal, unreported, and unregulated. We will be talking of the transparency between transparency and fair regulations when it comes to protecting our marine ecosystem. We are talking of empowering the small-scale fishermen by ensuring that the ocean health is managed sustainably and equally among anyone and everyone, regardless of your class. Well understood? Yes. We move on to Sustainable Development 17, which is more of the mother body of all sustainable development. Here we're talking of the partnership of these goals. What do we mean by partnership? We're talking of sustainable SDG 1 should partner with SDG 14 to ensure that it's complete. So this is basically just us strengthening and implementing that there is global partnership when it comes to this thing. But when it comes to the marine ecosystem, how do we put it into practice? I mean, when it comes to our fisheries ecosystem, how do we put it into practice? We put it into practice by cooperating with international bodies that will help us ensure that overfishing does not take place. It will help us ensure that the marine pollution does not take place, and also inspire us to have a sustainable blue economy initiatives. By partnering up with other countries or other individuals will help us with funds of research, scientific reports, and as well as technological transfers that empower coastal communities. As we all know, we cannot all just decide as Namibia as a nation we are going to protect the ocean. We have shared resources with countries such as Angola and South Africa. So we need to collaborate, we need to partner up to say, okay, colleagues, this is the problem that we have. Hake is declining. Which country is not doing their part? Now Namibia, why don't you have a specific regulation in place to ensure that it does not affect? So whatever we do in our ocean affects the next country. So hence, we need to ensure that we need to protect our oceans as a collaborative and ensure that we as a globe, at the end of the day, have a great sustainable, earth and a beautiful, healthy earth. In conclusion, I would just like to highlight that these interconnectors of these socials are very important because they play a role in our social economy, in our social ecosystem, our economic pillar, and as well as our environmental priorities, reminding us that the progress in one area is the progress in another. By achieving these sustainable development goals by the Vision 2030, will ensure that we have a healthy and sustainable planet Blue. And in conclusion, colleagues, the clock is ticking. The oceans cannot wait. Every choice we make, every policy we pass on, every innovative we bring upon, every act of cooperation, it ripples across the planet Blue's heart. If we protect our oceans and empower those who depend on them, we are doing more than just saving fisheries. We are securing food, dignity, a future for generation, and yet the unborn. Let us rise together with courage and urgency to turn the tide, because without a healthy ocean, there is no sustainable tomorrow. With that said, Enoshimi, I thank you. This was actually, as explained by Joanna before, this was a task for us to come up with an outreach on how to educate and to inspire fellow youth on these sustainable development goals. And we did come up to collaborate on this, Joanna and I, just so that we could get, we could actually bring it to the attention of the entire campus. Because personally I've noticed that we don't know our sustainable development goals. As much as we talk of fisheries, we don't understand the importance of sustainable development goals within fisheries. Learn a thing or two, great for you, but the most important thing is that I want you guys to step up inspired, to take charge and take control, and to ensure that your voice is heard. First and foremost, our industry is already small. So if we are all just going to study with the aim of making it to the ministry, it's not going to work. So we need to come up with ideas, initiatives that are ensuring that that plays a major role in our ecosystem. So it's up to you today to either sit with yourself, think of what can you bring to the table as a fisheries student, what can you bring to the table as a Namibian citizen, and how can you protect your ecosystem or your environment. We are the future leaders, but we are as well the leaders of today. We are grateful that you guys have made time. I don't know if Joanna wants to say something, or is there anyone with any question? Yes.
In terms of SDGs, so we are saying this is an initiative whereby we are trying to save the world at large, of course, right? And then here in Henties Bay or here in Namibia, and I think Joanna said something that they have stats, what is this? A record of what has been happening so far till today, right? Can you perhaps tell us what has been happening in terms of SDGs? Because even if we come here and attend your presentations, not everybody understands what is really happening. The only thing that people have been preaching about is climate change, which we are all witnessing, because we have been receiving heat waves left and right and center, and everyone can testify that as of yesterday and 2 days back. Yeah, that's not how we know it this day, and everybody has seen what happened in the past 2 days or 3 days. What type of initiative or what are they doing as the United Nations? What are they trying to do and come to these environmental things? Yeah.
Okay, first and foremost, as you say, people are focusing on climate change, right?
Yeah.
People started focusing on climate change when they saw plastic. That's the only time they started focusing on climate change. And that is the one thing we are trying to avoid, especially within our field. We do not want to come cry about life below water, which is the SDG 14, when we see that there is no fish anymore. This is why we are urging the youth to stand up, create awareness, because we are the ones that are in trouble. The people that are doing the decisions now, after 10 to 15 years, they won't be here. We will be here. So you're asking that what is the United Nations doing? The United Nations is trying to inspire through programs as such that we are in, to inspire the youth, to inspire the next person, the next youth, to come up with ways on how to bring the message up. Because if we as the youth stand up against the government and say, but no man, you cannot give so much pure quotas, then they will hear us out. Because who is being affected? We are being affected. And also, apart from having to go against what is already happening, it's just a thing of, are we as the youth really interested in our ecosystem? Because as an individual, there are people that I literally walk with and then they'll throw a paper there and I'll tell them, can you please pick up the paper? We as the youth already show that we don't care about our environment. So it's for us to be inspired to inspire the next person. And the moment we have inspired youth among ourselves, you will not see anyone throwing papers around. You will see if there's anything that is does not look good around, that youth person will take it up. Because why? Because this specific person is inspired and understands the importance of keeping the environment clean. So it starts with us. I am inspired to inspire the next person. And let us not wait on to the United Nations, because the United Nations already did their part. They did their research and they came up with this Agenda 30, which is also the SDGs. It's also called the Agenda 30. So they came up with this to already guide us to say, okay, these are the problems that we have as the countries under the United Nations. Can we please ensure by Vision 30, these are either reduced or we are in a better space or in a safer space than this? So they did their part by doing their research and giving us these specific goals. Now it's our time to do our part and ensure that these goals are executed.
I don't know how to say more to that, but if I have to answer your question specifically, you asked about where to get the information from. Yeah, something like that. So these organizations, the United Nations is making collaborations with the NGOs around the world, right? Such as NNN and stuff like that. They are hosting these programs about cleanup campaigns and stuff like that. They have pages online, if you go and look it. They document everything to say, okay, this is how we found the things, and this is how it looks right now. They pick up garbage and stuff like that and put it up for recycling, right? They later yearly, every country is required to submit a report online which compares which compares how the world was yesterday to today. So they get published.
Sorry, and also just to give you a practical example, OCM, Ocean Conservation Management, they identified a problem, which was what? The entanglement of these seals, and they came up with a solution. So with such organizations, we are supposed to come up with such things. You see, no, there's too much papers down here. Guys, can we please meet up on Friday and just go clean up things? Those are the type of things that we want the students to be inspired. We don't have these things of people attending specific seminars because there is food, people attending. Pardon?
One action.
Yes.
Exactly. Actions.
I just wanted to add on this question, but I wanted to give an example on, I want to touch on the gender equality, which one, I don't know which SDGs that was, but knows, we used to have stories with our grandparents, and they used to tell us that back in years, they used their wives, they keep them like at their houses and they don't allow them to go to work. They only give birth. Okay? I think that's also one of the examples how the world was compared to now. Because now we have women's study. A lot of them are in the industry. They are involved in research. Okay?
Thank you, Mr. Makani.
I just wondering it's a question or a suggestion. This, and I say you guys work now. Because you mentioned, Simi mentioned getting our voices as students out there into the industry. Then currently, do you guys know of any platform that allows us to get our voices there? Because as much as we have ideas, getting us to the rooms, the right rooms is what is important. How do you then get the students to sit in those offices, in those certain rooms and give the ideas that they have? Because it's nice to speak there, but this is not going to the industry. So is there opportunity for students like that? And if so, where can the students look for these opportunities?
Okay. Other platforms of such.
Maybe social media.
Okay, there are various organizations, but to get our voices into the office, I would say we should start on our campus. We have Dr. Jawla and Prof. Itembu that Dr. Jawla was part of, no? She's part of the council, the Marine. Yes, the Marine Advisory Council. So I think maybe it's maybe for us to step out, and when we have such outreaches, they come and sit into that room. They take the points that they need to take, and then they utilize it. The other way that we can maybe use for us, okay, no, personally, there's a group that all Namibian youth that are interested in the policy making of the country, which is like parliamentarians and etc. There's a specific group that we are on, whereby the parliamentarians are also on that group. So when the issues such as the merging of the two, especially with our field, I'll speak for my field because I'm mostly on our field. So when the merging of the agriculture and fisheries came back, we had a discussion to say, okay, what do you think about this change? But what do you think can be changed and what can be not changed? We get the big officers involved. Like it's very easy, especially with our current governor of Erogo, it's very easy to get things to her table because she's one person that loves the youth. So if you bring an issue up, it's like she's gonna pressure it. So it's just for us to take the stand and speak our mind respectfully.
Yeah, also have something to say. Yeah, so the SDGs, right, before, alongside the NDP, right, the National Development Plan, we have 6 of them, which one of them, the last one, which is the 6th one, towards the 2030, but yeah, it was just recently launched. So, according to the Namibian and some also outlets, it was a thing of now. The past national development plans, they did not achieve some of their goals now, and which is now one of their goals, which was poverty and unemployment, like eradication, or like at least trying to improve that sector. So I just want to hear your opinion, like what's your intake on that, or like what's your say on that, like what would the next NDP like bring to the table that the other NDPs did not bring, since it's now all towards sustainability, improving the unemployment sector.
Okay. My opinion on it, I'm very optimistic about the next NDP because as you can all see, our government is really putting in the effort. So especially with the context of employment rates, if you would have to check the stats, in my opinion, I don't really see much of a difference from years of 2020 to where we are now when it comes to employment and etc. There's slightly a difference. So I think with with Her Excellency Dr. Trevor N's initiative of ensuring that the youth must be given opportunities. I think that will be one of the areas that will really be covered. Of the youth must be given opportunities. But
The thing is also, she promised that apparently 75%, she promised 75% of employment. With coming with this new now NDP, which is unrealistic because the last NDP, which is 5, had a presentation on it, it actually just occupied like 45% of what they wanted to achieve, but it was actually not achieved. So 75 is a very high percentage in terms of now coming to unemployment.
I don't know how this is gonna help, but there was a time article was published in the Namibian. She said something about owning the mining sectors in Namibia, something like that, and they want to make sure that most of the industries are not owned by
Foreign citizens.
So she wants to own her resources.
but but when it comes to that certification, I don't think it's not doable. It is doable. It is doable. Reason I'm saying it's doable is because first and foremost we are a very small population in Namibia. And when we bring in the context of local content, it is gonna help us a lot. When you talk of local content, we're talking of if me as a Nigerian is bringing a project in Namibia, a certain percentage of the people that are working for my project or for my mine must be from that area, must be from Namibia or must be from Walvisveld. You understand? So that is the local content we are talking about. So I feel like with the initiative of putting local content into action, it can materialize. It's not just gonna materialize if there is funny things that are involved of corruption and etc. Then it might not materialize. But if we are going to be very much transparent, as it was mentioned that she asked, especially when it comes to governmental sectors, that students that have graduated are given an internship for 6 months and whatsoever, and if you have graduated, you are getting internship for about 2 years. So with that space already, you are getting the experience. So I believe that 75% it can materialize if we are very much transparent with what we are doing as a country, and not just do it because for yourself and not for the benefit of the others. So I'm optimistic. I think Namibia is really moving into the right direction when it comes to our SDGs, and slowly but surely we are getting there. I can speak for the quality education as well. Recently in Opuo, they opened a school. I forgot the name, but they opened a school in a certain village in Opuo with the aim to ensure that every Namibian child is educated. So those slow things, those small things are the things that are really gonna get us there. Yes, my name.
I was gonna say, I feel like the youth likes getting things handed to them. There was this youth fund thing that came up, and many of the youth did not apply because they were scared of the what? The requirements. Exactly, but then it wasn't that hard. You know how easy it is to register a business.
Yeah, it's very
So
much
jobs are there. We just need to hunt for them. Do not be given to you and say, "Oh, I said 75%. Here's the job. Here's the job. Here's the job." Like
Go after it
survival of the
yourself.
fittest.
Yeah.
Everybody's on it.
Thank you guys for making it to the end and for watching this lovely video. I hope you have learned a thing or two. Or you are inspired to also educate the next person about these specific goals. We as the youth tend to take these things lightly, but it is not lightly. We are the ones that are going to suffer at the end of the day. So it's up to us to take charge and ensure that our environment, our ecosystems are healthy and are in good conditions. This will just ensure that we have a brighter future, a beautiful, sustainable future, and the future that we will all want to have, which is the future of humans and the natural environment thriving in harmony. With that said, Darashimi signing out.